Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea Cavagna, product manager at Nuvolari, and I'm glad to be here, thanks to Johannes, at the Cloud Native Foundation in Salzburg. Today, we're talking about local cloud credential management, and we will focus in depth on the AWS use cases because it's our most common use case, and I want to focus on it just to start. So, what's the pain as a developer and why we started with Leap? As a developer, how many times happens to switch from an AWS account to another one in a single day? For us, a lot, really a lot. So as soon as AWS introduced the concept of AWS Identity Provider back, I think, in 2017, our team created the trust between AWS roles and our identity provider, G Suite. Everything worked well, it's perfect. Just a problem. There was a way to log into the AWS Web Console from the SAML app 2.0 app of the identity provider, but there was no way to access our account programmatically with a set of generated credentials. That was the most common use case for us as a developer. So that's why the first internal MVP of the app was born to match this missing feature. And then we noticed that with the growth of our AWS ecosystem, the pain of the everyday management of the credential file was amplifying day by day, and we was struggling with repetitive tasks that we need to do, like accessing, like do a single operation in cloud every day. So we want to be more flexible and agile, and that's why we developed Leap. Leap, it's the app to access your cloud. It's the first desktop app that allows you to switch from an AWS account to another one in a single click. But what does make Leap so special? We developed Leap with a security in mind first approach. That means that every sensible information to access the cloud, like the SAML assertion or access keys or third-party tools access token, are stored locally in the PC. The app is a desktop app, and everything works locally. Regardless of the access method, there are many access methods, and every access method is shown in the app as a component. As you can see, each list of the table, it's a session, so a point I can access to, no matter the access method. And in the app, you can access to the app with only one click. As I said, our team was growing, and since we are a consulting company, there were many different problems that comes out, and we decided to redesign the first version of the app with two pillars. We are developers, and we don't want to wrestle anymore with the credential file, doing those operations that are not productive for us and are risky because you push the credential in the credential file and maybe there are not the correct credential. You are managing also external account credentials, so these are a painful point for us as a developer. And also we want to improve the daily workflow of every one of us inside the company, because there are many ways to access, and we will see it later, AWS or other cloud providers, and we want a central point to access to. Also, as we are growing, we are team leads, and we want to achieve a certain level of security to all of the team members, from the newbie to senior DevOps. To match this, the app guarantees the best way to secure our accounts. So with the app, only short-lived credentials are generated and constantly rotated every 20 minutes. Everything from the app. But let me try to explain a little bit more about Leap, how Leap works. Let's start from the user asking to a specific account, in this case for AWS. What's happened? The user asks credential to Leap locally inside the desktop app and inside the local environment, and Leap ask for sensitive information like AWS access secret key and secret key of an AWS AAM user. Let me explain. In the local key vault, whenever these sensitive data are retrieved, Leap automatically call the AWS STS service for retrieve a set of short-lived credentials, and then automatically inject those short-lived credentials in the AWS file. By doing so, you are enabled to work with any SDK, CLI, or framework, because your credentials are in the file, in the folder asked by the AWS CLI in order to work, and from any SDK. But what different scenarios we are covering in matter of access method? We cover Leap support different use cases, such as it integrates the authentication from any identity provider to AWS, like G Suite for us, but we also integrate with Okta, OneLogin, Azure AD. Everything is fully supported. So from your identity provider to an AWS AAM role directly in the app. You just have to give the right information, and we will see later in the demo. You can also use AWS AAM user. What does Leap do in this use case? Leap store the access key and secret key of the AAM user, and store this information in the keychain for me, and those information are used to generate a set of short-lived credentials also. Leap support AWS single sign-on roles, so you can map the roles available in your AWS single sign-on account, and you can automatically map them into Leap with integration, and we will see it later. The one last scenario we are covering, it's the AWS AAM role chained. With this scenario, it's basically one of the previous entity of AWS act as a trust for another AWS account. This is a crucial method for us because we're working on many external AWS accounts of customer accounts, and this is the way we access to their account. So the idea is to jump from a trusted identity to the cloud, and that's why the app is called Leap. We take a giant leap on the way we work in cloud. So that's where the name come from. And everything it's made by a simple AWS STS assume role call made by the SDK locally inside the Leap and by injecting the credential. So without any further slide, I will prefer to explain it by scene. So let's go into a demo. I stop presenting just for a while and I start presenting the other screen because I'm more comfortable with it. Okay, you see everything? It's screened?
Yeah, we see the team screen now, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So basically, this is the app. I will log out my integration. So let's start by here I'm watching the AWS credential file. So I have here many different access methods, such as let me restart the application, to see it working. A federated role with my identity provider G Suite into my account. So if I try to access and I'm not logged in, the app asks me to log into my identity provider. And I will log. And clearly too many passwords and too many two-factor authentication. You will see many of them today. Okay, as you can see, now the session is activated and instantly the credentials are generated. It's a set of short-lived credentials with access key, secret key, session token, and the credentials are generated for a specific region. So whenever I don't need anymore these accounts or to work on this account, I just have to stop the account and the credentials are cleaned. Also, I have a chained account. So from this account, this session, this federated role, I jump inside this account, okay, with this role, with assume role, and I can just click and credentials are generated. Access key, secret key, and the session token. As you can see, we have many different access methods. You just have to cover from an AIM user the profile you want, the name of the session in order to be recognized, the region that can be changed, where the credentials are located, and the preferred region for this session. If MFA is enabled for the AWS AAM user, the access key and the secret key. So if I have the MFA enabled, I can try to log in. The app asks me for the MFA. So I will prompt another MFA. And bump, I can have more, as you can see, more than one active profile at the same time. So Leap support also named profile, because many of our customers and contributors, like Johannes, are using them, and also we are using them to divide our session and to be more error prompt, to not do error with different customers. Also, this is a feature really asked by Johannes, and that why we know each other. It's the support for AWS single sign-on. So I can edit, add my portal URL of my AWS single sign-on, the region in which the AWS single sign-on service is located, the authentication method I will prefer, and an alias for the integration. And then I can log into the app, ask me to authorize the request if I'm already logged, and bump, automatically the app autocomplete all the session available from my AWS single sign-on just in a click. And from this, from those credentials, it's the same. I can just start a session and credentials are generated. I stop a session and credentials if I don't need, and they are not needed. That's it basically, and on how the credential generation of Leap works, and the app every 20 minutes rotate those credentials in order to maintain a certain level of security and to guarantee that only short-lived credentials are generated here. Also,
I have
yeah.
a question. Do you also invalidate the credential when you stop it, or is it just removed?
They are just removed in the invalidation. It's not. It's a great feature, but not for now. I think it's a more a team solution and not a developer centric solution. This kind of solution, as you can see now, the credentials are rotated. So the idea is that you manage the session duration on yourself by yourself from your AWS accounts, and then Leap just rotate that credentials. Also, as we can see, we want to improve our workflow. So we started with managing different action on this session. So, for example, from a single AWS account, I can also log into my web console directly from here. As you can see here, this is yeah, I'm already logged in. Sorry, and this is a chain role. So if I have to access to this locally, I have to access to my federated account. From my federated account, I have to click on the switch role. I have to remember and blah blah blah. From here, it's just a click, and with a click, I'm into the chained role with the correct role, with a session called assumed from Leap, and I'm in my account, and I can manage my account, my management console, and so on. And when I finished, I can sign out. We are working also on a solution for managing different accounts in different tabs. It's a pain for us. I think it's a pain for everyone. That now we are working with many accounts at the same time, and AWS console doesn't support it. We want to support, and we are working on a browser extension for doing it. One last use case we are covering is, let me present just a second, is the ability to connect to your EC2 instance in a click. So user asks to leap from an action to connect to an EC2 instance from system manager. Leap retrieve the sensitive information from the key vault, generate a set of short-lived credentials with STS. It does not inject them in the credential file, but use this one-time generated credential as an environment variable for a terminal to connect to your EC2 instance in your terminal through HTTPS. By doing so, all your actions are audited in CloudWatch. Your audit are on S3, and the activity is audited also in CloudTrail, and you have many advantages to use them instead of a normal key pair and to share key pair from team members. So what we are doing if we need to access to a single account, I can see the SSM session. I just need to remember the session in which region, and it enabled me to list all the session, the AWS EC2 instance available with its name, and with a click I can connect, and automatically I'm inside this instance in this terminal with a single click. So if I try to, I'm the SSM user inside this EC2 instance. So basically that's it. That's the app. It's a developer productivity app, but with a really important point on security, because it's what concerns us, and for us it's too important to create a standard of those credentials, of how we manage credential for every one of us, from newbie to senior DevOps, because a failure, a credential breach, no matter if it's been from a newbie or from our CTO, the problem it's for all the company, because they are our AWS accounts. So I think I have just one more slide to thank you. Really, everyone is helping us, because being open source, it's been one of the best choices we ever made, because it helped us creating a standard with our community. We have more than 20 contributors, including Johannes, helping us improving the app, creating issue, creating pull requests, talking about us. We had in the last year we were at the präsentiert at the reInvent. Just today we reached 900 stars, and the community is helping us creating new use cases, new action, like the CLI and so on, to improve how we are working with the cloud, and not only with AWS, but how we access and we work in cloud. Just the last week we released also a CLI version that is linked to the app, so you have to have the app installed and running in order to manage to use the CLI, and the CLI, it's called Leap, clearly. I can just stop a session, for example, it asks me for which session are active. As you can see, I can stop a session is stopped. I can start a session and it asks me for which session I want to start. Yeah, wrong password. So the session is started and the credentials are generated. I can do many actions like change profile, change region, see like leap session current, what's the current session, and we want to do a script also to inject in the terminal in which session you are every time. I can get the ID of a session in order to make it scriptable. I can list, I can open web console, start NEC2 instance direct from the CLI. Everything you can do from the app, you can do also from the CLI version. The project is called Nuvolari Leap. As I see, we just reached 900 star, and it's a cross-platform application built on top of Electron and Angular, and it's cross-platform, so it's work for either Windows, Linux, macOS. From this version also, I think, let me check, yes, we are also supporting ARM version, so the macOS M1 version, native version, deb and app image for Linux, and so on. So that's it. For everything, I'm Andrea Cavagna, DevOps and Product Manager here at Nuvolari. And for every question, I'm really be happy to answer to all the question.
Thanks, Andrea, for this talk. I have a question which I want to state before we stop the recording.
Yeah.
So, one question is, so you do have a roadmap, right?
Yeah. I can show it. Just a second.
Yes. Where would we find the roadmap? And the next question, the interesting question is already, so you are a very young company, right? And you open source the thing now.
Yeah.
How do you want to make money with it, and how do you want to make it sustainable?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm presenting just a little more. Here. So in the website you can find the roadmap, and it's here. So here are our ideas come from the community, what we are considering, what's planned, what's in progress, what we are launching. As you can see, we have a core, that's the developer point, and we have a pro and a team version that we are working on. That we are working. So basically the idea is we want to make the app open source for every developers, and we want to continue improving the app for the developer. Instead, we want to create a team and under enterprise solution in order to generate a zero knowledge online configuration, and in order to share your session configuration with your team member, in order to have an app where you manage who can access where inside your accounts. So basically, the app will be linked to your LIP, and the team member will we will see all the session auto generated from their team lead. Okay. And by doing so, we want to also to improve the logging, trail information, security concern, like the question of before. So everything for a company side will be on a paid version of the app. So basically, we are an open core company, where the core of our company are more than one project that are developer centric or DevOps centric. The first of our project is Leap, and we are going to make other projects in future. Every project we will make will be on the operation, let me say, field. So everyone that operates in cloud, and the first thing that everyone operates in cloud is access. So that's why we started with Leap, and because of an internal needs, really. But we want to start create a profitable company, and to support many companies that want to adopt the solution, either from the Pro and Team solution, and also we are also covering the enterprise support. We just support the enterprise support. If a company want to use Leap for every developer, I think it's a good point, since it's an open source project, to have bug prioritization, because if the app is not working and your company it's slowed down because of Leap, it's not a good point. So you can prioritize a bug, get help of troubleshooting with a private Slack channel, and so on. So basically support and open core for an enterprise level solution companies.
Oh, I see.
I think. Yeah.
I have another
Christian.
question.
Yep.
You also have Azure support, as I saw. I think the benefits with Azure aren't that much as with AWS. Is my first question. And the second one is, do you also plan to support Kubernetes? Because then with Kubernetes, you also have like hundreds Kubernetes secrets lying around in your kube config somewhere, and I think this will also be quite a good thing to address.
Yeah, that's we are supporting Azure at the moment. We are refactoring it because from the latest version of the CLI of Azure, the credential generation method of Azure, it's completely changed. They passed from a JSON to MSAL, I think, version that we still need to implement. But we are supporting Azure, and we will support also Alibaba Cloud and the Google Cloud platform. And we want to support Kubernetes, but at the moment we are not so expert in Kubernetes. But if anyone is expert in Kubernetes, I really want to include it in the app. So if someone want to see Kubernetes integrated in Leap, just send me a text message, and I will try to find the problem and find the solution in order to make it in the roadmap as soon as possible. As I said, everything for developer will be always open source. we are also working on a solution for a kind of session marketplace, so action marketplace. Sorry. So on each session you can create your custom action. We create the connect to your EC2 instance, but we are in talk with for example, we are in talk with the system manager team of AWS, and they asked us for the integration with Runbooks. I don't know if someone of you is using Runbooks. We also want to support Runbooks, like launch a Runbook in a click from a session, and similar like connect to an RDS instance in a click, to a container in a click, like improving our workflow, because basically we are all DevOps, we are all developers, and what we made every day, it's working with that, and we want to make it straightforward.